There is a gritty, relentless city resting on the edge of the Chesapeake Bay that never wastes its breath bragging. It doesn't need to. This is a fierce working-class town, a historic port built by the calloused hands of immigrants who arrived on American shores with absolutely nothing and proceeded to feed the community around them. In this place, iconic flavors weren't engineered inside corporate test kitchens or perfected by focus groups. They were forged in the chaotic stalls of open-air fish markets, fried up on neighborhood street corners, and blended inside a humble harbor spice shop that carried the heavy scent of the open sea. This city doesn't just prepare food, it stamps its very identity into every single bite. Welcome to the Origin Plate, where we dissect the hidden histories, decode the culinary secrets, and uncover the raw truths behind the world's most definitive dishes. Today, we are diving deep into a legendary port town to unpack 10 extraordinary creations that this city doesn't just make, it absolutely owns. Welcome to the culinary soul of Baltimore. To truly understand this city's palate, we have to start with the single, legendary seasoning blend that unites every kitchen, tavern, and crab shack in Maryland. It lives inside that iconic, bright little tin known as Old Bay. The story of this spice is born from ultimate survival. In 1938, a Jewish spice merchant named Gustav Brunn was arrested in Germany during the horrors of Kristallnacht and sent to the Buchenwald concentration camp. His family managed to bribe a lawyer to secure his release, and they fled across the Atlantic, arriving in Baltimore with almost no money to their name. But Gustav had managed to pack one vital tool, his small hand-cranked spice grinder. He set up a modest shop directly across the street from Baltimore's bustling wholesale fish market. As he watched local seafood mongers buying individual spices to season their catches, Gustav decided to do the hard work for them. He ground together sharp black pepper, celery seed, mustard, and vibrant paprika. Then he introduced a series of completely unexpected additions: sweet cinnamon, aromatic nutmeg, and fragrant cloves. His family later admitted that these baking spices created a background bouquet that even Gustav hadn't fully planned. It was a beautiful accident. Named after a steamship line that sailed the Chesapeake, this blend is now found on everything from movie popcorn to local vodka. It stands as a monument to a refugee who turned absolute tragedy into enduring global flavor. If that spice blend represents the city's soul, our second item, the Baltimore crab cake, is its definitive heartbeat. While destinations all over the world attempt to replicate this seafood masterpiece, they are merely doing a pale impression of what Baltimore has spent a century perfecting. The prized blue crab has been harvested from local waters for generations, but the art of turning it into a tightly bound, perfectly seasoned cake belongs entirely to Baltimore. The structural rules here are fiercely protected. You use jumbo lump or premium backfin meat, a dash of mustard, a sprinkle of Old Bay, and an absolute minimum of binder. Most importantly, it must be broiled or pan-fried, never deep-fried. While other regions ruin their seafood by packing it with heavy breadcrumbs, excessive fillers, or cheese, Baltimore practices a strict, beautiful restraint. The fewer ingredients you add, the louder the crab speaks. Our third entry is an incredible underdog food known as the coddy. If you didn't grow up within the city limits, you've likely never heard of this historic treat. A coddy is a beautifully simple fried fish cake made from salted cod, smooth mashed potatoes, and basic seasonings, served smashed tightly between two plain saltine crackers with a streak of bright yellow mustard. It was engineered to cost next to nothing, which was exactly the point for a working-class neighborhood. The invention is credited to a Jewish immigrant named Fanny Jacobson Cohen, who began selling them from a market stall in the early 1900s for just 5 cents a piece. This humble 5-cent snack eventually fueled a massive family food truck empire. Though the dish nearly vanished as modern supermarkets replaced old-school public markets, a few legendary local delis and seafood stalls kept the flame alive. It remains an honest, unpretentious food made for an honest city. For our fourth stop, we head down the highway where clouds of thick charcoal smoke signal the presence of Baltimore pit beef. This sandwich offers zero frills, just pure fire, smoke, and a Kaiser roll. Emerging in the 1970s from roadside stands designed to feed hungry blue-collar workers. Pit beef defies traditional American barbecue norms. Tough top round beef is cooked directly over open, roaring charcoal embers without a lid or a smoke box. Fifth on our list is the crown jewel of white tablecloth seafood, crab imperial. While the crab cake is an everyday staple, crab imperial takes magnificent lump blue crab and elevates it into something regal. The delicate meat is folded into a luxurious, velvety sauce composed of high-quality mayonnaise, mustard, and a signature hit of Old Bay, then baked inside a real crab shell until the top turns a perfect golden brown. Our sixth dish is Maryland fried chicken. While fried chicken is a fiercely contested battlefield across the American South, Maryland developed a highly distinct pan-frying technique that actually caught the attention of European culinary royalty. The secret to this specific style is all about the lid. By tightly covering the cast iron frying pan while the chicken cooks, you trap the internal steam. This unique process builds an exterior crust that is exceptionally crispy while keeping the meat inside unbelievably tender. To finish the dish, it is traditionally served with a rich, creamy gravy poured directly over the top. This method was perfected by enslaved cooks and became so legendary that by 1934, the father of modern European gastronomy, Auguste Escoffier, officially codified the recipe in his masterwork cookbook, sealing the city's frying technique into global history. Seventh is a neighborhood institution known across local carry-out shops as lake trout. But here is the ultimate twist. There is no trout in a lake trout sandwich, not even a single flake. Lake trout in Baltimore is actually deep-fried Atlantic whiting. Nobody can pinpoint exactly how the mismatched name originally stuck, but the city claimed it regardless. This dish is a massive staple of the city's black neighborhoods, featuring thick fish fillets battered, fried to a beautiful golden crunch, and served simply on soft white bread with plenty of hot sauce and Old Bay. It is fast, cheap, and deeply comforting, a dish woven directly into the daily rhythm of the neighborhood carry-out culture. For number 8, we move to the bakery sweet shops to uncover the unapologetic excess of the burger cookie. This dessert is so intensely rich that it makes every other frosted cookie on earth look like it isn't even trying. The legacy dates back to 1835, when a German immigrant baker named Henry Berger opened a small bakery in East Baltimore. He created a simple, crisp, shortbread base that weighs barely a quarter of an ounce, then proceeded to top it with a full, heavy ounce of dense, dark chocolate fudge frosting. The cookie itself is merely a structural vehicle. The thick, rich frosting is the true destination. Hand-dipped using that exact same 1835 formula to this very day, this cookie isn't just a sweet treat, it is an unbroken legacy spanning nearly 2 centuries. Our 9th item is National Bohemian Beer, affectionately known by every single local as Natty Bo. First brewed in the city back in 1885, this classic pale lager survived the dark years of Prohibition and outlasted dozens of massive corporate competitors. By the middle of the century, its one-eyed mascot, Mr. Bo, had become an official cultural icon of the Mid-Atlantic. Even though the beer is no longer manufactured within the city limits, the local loyalty to the brand has never wavered. The giant neon sign still glows brightly over the neighborhood skyline, and the cans still crack open at every baseball game and backyard crab feast. You don't just drink a Natty Bo, you drink it to show exactly where your loyalties lie. Finally, at number 10, we beat the summer heat with the Baltimore snowball. Do not confuse this with a standard snow cone or Italian ice. The absolute magic of a Baltimore snowball comes down to the structural engineering of the ice itself. Local shaving machines shave the blocks down to an incredibly fine, fluffy powder consistency that perfectly absorbs the sweet syrups rather than letting them pool at the bottom. To top it off, a generous dollop of thick marshmallow cream is completely non-negotiable. Sold from backyard sheds, converted residential garages, and tiny storefronts during the summer months, the flavors themselves are local legends, especially egg custard, a rich vanilla profile that tastes like pure childhood. When you look closely at the culinary landscape of this port town, you realize it doesn't need to shout to get attention. The food tells the entire story. From a spice blend born from the survival of a concentration camp refugee to a 5-cent fish cake that kept a working-class population fed for generations, the food is the living proof of the city's resilience. Thank you for joining us on The Origin Plate. If you love uncovering the true histories behind the world's most authentic dishes, make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment with the dish you want to try most, and we will see you on our next culinary journey.